Anything to discuss? Maybe I can... Anything? Yeah. Yeah.
When the Buddha is about to pass away, he announced the life principle, and just before he passed away, he goes to the fourth jhana. He can do that because of the jhana. But what should us people do on our deathbed?
When a person is about to pass away, I think it is automatic that this life that passed before you, you will think of all the things that you did, all the major things, the good you did, and also the wrong things that you did. And the wrong things will weigh down on us heavily. So that's why it's very important to understand the Dhamma and to practice the Dhamma and not practice and do not do unwholesome things. Sometimes it might not be really evil things, but even neglecting to do your duty, sometimes it can be a great burden. You feel very guilty. Like, for example, some people, they don't take enough good care of their parents. And then after the parents pass away, then they regret all the what they didn't do, they should have done to repay the parents' kindness and all these things. So before the deathbed comes, you have to prepare for it. And on your deathbed, there's nothing much you can do because the karma vipaka is already run. You already created the karma. You have to pay for it. There is no way. It's not like other religions. You say you make a confession and then all your sins are gone. In the Buddhist religion, there's no such thing. You can feel remorse. You can say you're sorry for it, but you still have to pay for whatever you did. All the good and the bad, you will still be accountable. All the other thing you must remember, whatever we think at the last moment, it does not matter so much. Why? Because even you can think of all the good things. After some time, the doctor will say, oh, this person is dead. So when the doctor certifies that the person has died, that is only clinical death. Clinical death and the death according to the Buddha is different. And the Buddha says when a person really dies, three things stop. One is the life principle. In Chinese you say the qi, the life principle. Secondly, the mind stops working. Thirdly, the body heat stops. Out of these three, we can only feel the body heat. So sometimes it happens like a few years ago, one of our Penang devotees told me the mother died of cancer. At the last moment when she was dying, she was in great pain because of the cancer, and then when she died, the face was in like suffering. But 1 hour later, the daughter told me the mother's face changed to be very bright and very happy, smiling like that. So, you see, when a person is pronounced clinically dead, as long as the body is still warm, he has not died. And generally, it takes another 1 or 2 hours before the person really dies. So, in this 1 or 2 hours, the mind is still working. And whatever that person thinks, he has no control. It's just like dreaming. So what the last thoughts the person has depends on your karma. If your nature is like what they say, animal nature, ngao cheng, gu khe, then the thoughts you have will be violent thoughts. You'll be fighting with people and all that, trying to defend your life and all these things. And that will bring you to the animal realm. But if you have been practicing the Dhamma, then probably the last the 1 hour after your clinical death, the mind is working. You're thinking of Dhamma, you're thinking of all the good things. Then you'll be reborn probably like this Sutta says, in the heaven of the 33, where you outshine the other devas. So if you have attained jhana, then probably when you are dying, the mind will go into that jhana state, and then you are reborn. Say you have attained the first jhana, then you will be reborn as one of the Brahmas in the Brahma heaven. You have attained the second jhana, then the mind will incline to that second jhana, and you are reborn in the second jhana heaven, where you will be enjoying life for a long time. But the most important thing is to understand the Dhamma. If we understand the Dhamma, learn the suttas, listen to the Nikaya talks more, and we have a basic understanding, then we have attained right view. And as this sutta says, when here even Brahma, Sanat Kumara knows, there he says in the paragraph 27, he says, from right view arises right thought, from right thought arises right speech, etc. So the most important is right view. If you haven't attained right view, you have not entered the Noble Eightfold Path. In the suttas, to attain right view, there are only two conditions. One is somebody else teaching you the Dhamma. That means either the Buddha teaching you the Dhamma through the suttas, or you listen to some Dhamma teacher who teaches the Dhamma according to the original teachings of the Buddha. Then the second condition is careful attention. You pay careful attention, then you understand, then you get right view. Once you get right view, you have entered the stream. And you have entered the stream, before you die, you attain the fruit, you will be Sotapanna. So then you can be reborn in the company of Sakadeva Raja and outshining Sakadeva Raja also. You have enough blessings. So, what is important is not what you should do on your deathbed. Whatever you do on your deathbed is not important. It's what you do now, between now and your death. Whatever number of years you have. You don't know how many years you have. Just a few weeks ago, we had one Buddhist come here. He's dying of cancer. So then he comes to the monastery to practice. So some people are like that. When you are healthy, you don't think of coming to the monastery. And when suddenly you know you have cancer, you have not much time left, and you come. Sometimes it might be too late. You might not have enough practice, time to practice and attain right view. Okay?
Our question, where do we come from and what's our origin?
This afternoon, our Victor asked me the same question. Where does everything come from? You go backwards. How do you know that everything exists? You know everything exists because of your six senses. You see the world, so you say the world exists, right? You hear the sounds of the world. You smell the smells of the world. You taste the taste of the world. And you touch the things of the world. And your thinking. The first five senses create the outer world. The sixth sense creates the mind, the inner world. Okay? So these six senses actually is basically consciousness. When you have consciousness working, you think everything exists. When you have no consciousness, nothing exists. Right? So everything is in your consciousness. So you've got to go backwards. You want to be delivered, you want to see the Creator, you go backwards, which means into your mind, into your consciousness. Go to the source of your consciousness. Then you'll know where everything arises. Right? Somebody sent me a letter. It's Chua Sun Ait from Kulim. He said, Dear Bhante, I hope Bhante is in good health. I have some questions that I hope Bhante can help answer during any of Bhante's Dhamma talks. Last Saturday, there was a freakish accident at a traffic light junction in Kulim. A lorry that was transporting sand apparently lost control, jumped a divider and overturned, dumping its load onto a car that had stopped at the red light. The sheer weight of sand crushed the car, killing one of its occupants, a pregnant lady, and seriously injuring the others. Other religions may refer to this accident as fate, while Buddhism may call it karma. But both fate and karma seem the same thing to me. If I take God out of the equation, without the concept of God, wouldn't karma and fate be just laws of nature, occurrences that happen as they were meant to happen? If my assumptions are wrong, can Bhante please explain why? Okay, this karma and fate, fate is actually not karma, fate is the vipaka. Karma is the intentional action that we do, and this law we call the law of karma vipaka. Karma is the action and vipaka is the result. So fate, you can say, is the result. But the thing is, in the Buddhist religion, fate is what was determined by our karma, not only in the previous life, but also the present life. So because we can create karma in this present life, we can actually change our fate. So if we go to a fortune teller, an expert fortune teller, if he reads your palm, he can tell you, there are some, he can tell you very clearly, for example, a lot of things about your life, whether you'll be a very successful man, how long is your life roughly, and etc. But if we practice the holy path, the spiritual path, we change our character. We create a lot of new karma to overturn the past karma, the karma of the past life. So if we create a lot of strong karma now, for example, a good example is, for example, this bandit called Angulimala. He killed apparently hundreds of people. So having killed hundreds of people, his fate or his vipaka is to be reborn in hell and suffer for thousands and thousands of years, maybe even millions of years. But the Buddha went to him, taught him the Dhamma so that he became a monk. Then he understood that there are realms of rebirth like hell where he will go if he didn't do anything about his situation, because he has already created a very heavy evil karma. So having understood that, he strove very hard. He strove very hard and became an arahant. So he changed his fate. He changed his fate. He didn't have to be reborn in hell anymore. So in Buddhism, fate is not sure. It's not something that is determined. We can change our fate. Here it says occurrences that happen as they were meant to happen. They are meant to happen because of past conditions. We created the past conditions. For example, if a person in the past life, his karma didn't have so much good karma, is reborn into a poor family. But if he works very hard, and he's honest, and he proves himself, then he might succeed in life and become very rich. A good example is our Lo Bun Siu. Lo Bun Siu in Penang was born not from a rich family, so he was a mechanic, just a foreman who repaired cars and motorcycles and all that. And because he was extremely hardworking and very honest, the Japanese gave him the dealership of these Nissan cars, is it? Honda cars. So he became very rich, multi-millionaire. So in Buddhism, this karma vipaka can be changed. The Buddha said in one sutta that to overcome the obstructions from past life, in other words, our destiny is not so good. We have to create a lot of good karma now. The Buddha gave a simile of salt and water. The Buddha said, in the Buddha's time, salt was lumps and lumps of salt, not fine salt. You take a lump of salt, you put in a cup of water and you stir. You drink, it's very salty. You take the same size lump of salt, you put in the river, you stir and you drink, it's not salty. Why? Because there's a lot of water. So the water represents the good karma. The salt represents the bad karma. So we have to create a lot of good karma then it overweighs the bad karma from the past life. That's how we overcome obstructions. The other thing, in the suttas, the Buddha said, when we suffer, not always, it is not always due to karma. Like in this case, the lorry overturned, and this pregnant woman was in the car, and the whole load of sand crushed the car, and the woman died. That can be due to accident. So if it's accident, then if that person's karma as a human being is not finished, then because of accident that person dies, then that person is likely to be reborn as a human being again, because his karma as a human being is not finished. Another thing the Buddha said, sometimes we suffer might be due to the weather. The weather is not good, then maybe there's too hot or too cold, and then we get sick, or there's no rain, and then there's famine. So also the Buddha said can be due to your own body, unbalance, too much phlegm or too much wind, or all these things, too much heat and all this. And the Buddha has talked about a few conditions to give us suffering, and not all is karma vipaka. The second question, a lot of authors describe Nibbana as a blissful or peaceful state. To me, bliss and peace are feelings subject to arising and cessation. From my understanding, Nibbana is not subject to arising and cessation. Can we really describe Nibbana in terms of feelings or any other sensation? How did the Buddha describe Nibbana in the suttas? In the suttas, the Buddha says, Nibbanang paramang sukhang. Nibbana is the greatest bliss. But in the state of Nibbana, it is like cessation of perception and feeling, Nirodha Samapatti also, where there is no consciousnness, there is no perception, there is no feeling. And yet, the Buddha says, Nibbanang paramang sukhang. Because the Buddha says, he does not describe bliss only in terms of feelings. He says wherever bliss is found, there is bliss. In the state of jhana, the Buddha describes of all feelings, jhana is the greatest, is the most pleasant feeling. Why? Because in the state of jhana, the Buddha says there is no dukkha, absence of dukkha. Absence of dukkha means bliss. For example, when we sleep at night, there are two types of sleep. One is the dream state, and that is not so pleasant when you are dreaming. You might be frightened in your dream. It's like a nightmare. There's another type of sleep which is very deep sleep, where you don't know anything at all. You don't even know that you exist. When there is no self, then it's very blissful. So that when you wake up in the morning, you don't feel like waking up. You want to sleep some more. So when you have a self, then you have to worry about the self. You have to protect the self. Always trying to protect the self. From the moment we are born until we die, we do everything every day just to protect the self. I and mine. Protect myself, protect my family, protect my loved ones, and all these things. So we are struggling all because of the self. If there was no self, then we would be like the tree, free and easy, nothing to worry. So here the Buddha says Nibbana is not only in terms of feelings. Whenever there is bliss, then the Buddha says he recognizes it.
But we have not to know that if we come to the Buddha, then go to Nibbana, can we come down to earth and teach the Dhamma?
Once the Buddha enters Nibbana, he has left the world, so he does not come back. It is just like in your dream at night. In your dream at night, you see many people, you talk to many people and all that. When you wake up in the morning, can you go back to the dream and talk to the people? Cannot. So life is like a dream. Now we have not woken up from the dream, to us it's real. When you wake up, then you realize it's a dream. So you must wake up, then only you know. The Buddha is called the awakened one. We are all still dreaming. Okay?
All our Buddhas of the how to to
Past Buddhas attain to enlightenment what? They are not anywhere. You must listen to the Dhamma more. You must finish studying, listening to the Anguttara Nikaya. After that you go to the Samyutta Nikaya and Majjhima Nikaya. Then you will understand. Everything, this world, as I just mentioned just now, this whole world is like a dream in consciousness. We only know the world exists because our consciousness is working. Yeah? No. You have to understand the Dhamma. The Buddha says, we only think that we exist. Yeah, I asked you in your dream last night, you dreamt last night. Now you have woken up. What happened to that person in your dream? Disappeared. He never existed, you only thought he existed. Yes or not? Yeah.
Can I just ask, a lot of those animals, rats, mosquitoes, they are vector of diseases. So, a lot of times people try to kill them because they bring diseases to human beings. So, in killing them, is that wrong? Or if you are at home and then you see all cockroaches, even that they will bring problems to the houses, they will bring diseases, is it wrong to eradicate them?
If you have an intention to kill, it is considered wrong. But sometimes it is unavoidable in the sense that you want to protect life. Yeah. So, for example, we don't like to kill ants. But when your house is the wood is all eaten up by termites, what do? So you have to decide whether your sila is more important or your house is more important. So we sometimes have to use our wisdom to see how to avoid killing. For example, cockroaches in the house, they come because there is food, okay? And also they like to hide in dark places, dark and damp places, okay? So, if you put the dustbin inside your house, and there's food inside the dustbin, they will try to go inside the dustbin and eat. So, ants also, if you bring dustbin inside your house, the cockroaches and the ants will multiply. So you have to put the dustbin as far away as possible. Say like at the gate of your house or outside the gate. That's one way. Okay. So other things, for example, like mosquito. You try to put mosquito netting on your house so that they don't come in. Or in the evening, you burn some mosquito coil before sunset, then they will not come. There is a time for mosquitoes to come, 2 hours before sunset. and 2 hours before dawn. Say like 5 to 7 in the evening and 5 to 7 in the morning. That's the time when they are the most. So if at 5 o'clock you start burning the mosquito coil, from far they sense they won't come. They are attracted, from what I read, by mosquitoes are attracted by our breath. When we breathe out, there is carbon dioxide. So they come. So if we burn the mosquito coil, the wind will carry it, just like the wind carries our breath. So downwind, they get this mosquito coil smell, they won't come. So we have to think of ways how to avoid. For example, here we have a lot of rats. So we put traps. Now once in a while we put traps, and then we catch them and take it far away to throw away. The rats here are very fierce. They'll bite through the mosquito netting.
In the ghost when we want to give them good marriage, we can offer them or burn something for them. But if the being is being reborn in hell, how does he gain good marriage to be reborn to have a good
He cannot gain anything. The Buddha said when somebody passes away, we can only help if they are reborn in the ghost realm. All other realms cannot help. If they are born in heaven, they don't need also. Born as human also cannot help. Born as animal also cannot help. Born in hell also cannot help. Only ghost realm. And the Buddha did not explain why, but I believe because only ghosts can come back. That's why many people, if their mother or father passes away, sometimes when the dead person comes back, sometimes you can hear somebody walking in the house you don't see. Or the door will open and close, the light will open and close. Why does he do this? Because he wants you to know that he's born as a ghost. And when they are born as a ghost, they need help. I have people telling me of experiences, like a friend of mine, the mother passed away. After I buried the mother entered the sister's body and came to talk to my friend. The mother said, I have something very important to say. That's why I borrow the daughter's body. She said that she knows the daughter will become very tired, but she can't help it. She says she must speak now. Later she has no opportunity to speak. So she says she's suffering and she's hungry, and she comes back to her own home. She cannot enter the house. But my friend, being a Mahayanist Buddhist, he didn't know what to advise. So he told the mother, "Mo pin." I told the mother, you go where it's bright, where it's dark, don't go. But in the ghost world, where got bright? In the ghost world, all is dark. So the mother realized that the son cannot help her at all. The mother left. So only ghosts can be helped. And then only limited help. By giving them, what do ghosts need? You cannot bring them out of the ghost realm. The most you can do is give them the essentials like food and clothing. Either you offer food by the roadside, or like some people, Buddhists like to do, we go to the monastery or go to old folks' home, you offer food and inform them. Best is beforehand, before you do the dana, you inform a few nights in a row. You inform them they are going to do dana on a certain day, and you offer food, and if you want some cloth. Because basically these two things are important to a ghost. The most important is food. The Buddha says all beings survive on food. Even devas need food. Even hell beings need food. All beings need food.
Okay. Yesterday you mentioned that the arahants are not stones. Yesterday you mentioned that the arahants are not like stones. So basically they still have feelings that the mind is not affected by the feelings.
Yeah.
So first, what is the difference between feeling and mind? And secondly,
wait, one by one. One by one.
What is the difference between feelings and mind? Are they two different things?
Even the word mind, what do you mean by mind? Mind is just anything that is mental. Okay? So like sometimes the Buddha talks about perception, feeling, volition, consciousness. These are all different aspects of the mind. So feeling is just an aspect of the mind, just like perception. Perception, you think, oh, this is beautiful, this is ugly, all this. This is your perception only. This is yellow, this is red. Somebody who's colorblind will see a different color from you. So perception is another thing. So feelings are these generally pleasant, unpleasant, and neutral feelings. So for an Arahant, the same feelings arise. But because the Arahant's mind is solid like a rock, the feelings arise and then subside very fast.
So this mind, does it refer to perception, volition, this kind of aspect?
Oh yeah, there are many aspects of it. No? Sankhara is volition. No? Sanya is perception. Consciousness, the word consciousness, vijnana, refers more specifically to the six sense bases. Seeing consciousness, hearing, smelling, taste, touch, and thinking consciousness. So these are all different aspects of the mind.
In some of the books, they actually translated Vedana as translation instead of feeling. So it seems like the first feeling, right, is more related to those mental sensations or physical sensations, rather than what we normally associate feeling with emotions, right, like I'm feeling happy. Right? So in terms of this, what Digha Nikaya was more related to first sensations rather than emotions aspect. Right?
This feelings, the Buddha says, the suttas, then when there is a external sense object, for example, a form impinging on the eye, or a sound impinging on the ear, or a smell impinging on the nose, or a taste impinging on the taste buds, or a tangible thing impinging on the body, touch, and thoughts. When there is contact at the sense door, a feeling automatically arises, pleasant or unpleasant. Then it is followed by perception, volition, all these things. So because the mind works so fast, the feeling arises and passes away, and then other things follow, and then later again the feeling arises and passes away. So generally when we say emotion, is a combination of a lot of feelings. Then you say,
This is that in regards to just now the feeling part. If you say practice wisdom in regards to feeling, but then what I know is one line is, no matter it's hands or anything, is very precious. So if you chew one hand, means you have to chew, and then there is a very bad harm. I think everybody has done that, and then it's how to it's very scary to actually know everybody has killed before, and how do you create enough karma to actually cover the evil karma that you have done?
In the Buddha's teachings and the Vinaya books, there are many levels of wrongdoing. Many levels. So like killing a human being is considered a major offense. For a monk to kill a living being, a human being, he's broken one of the heaviest offenses, heaviest precepts. Then he's not considered a monk anymore, even though he wears a robe. But if a monk kills a bird, kills an animal, it's a different category altogether. It's a minor precept. So there's a difference. And even among animals, if you kill an ant, because the suffering you engender cause is not so much. If you kill the buffalo, then it feels more pain. Probably like you kill a mosquito also, it's not so much suffering as to kill a dog, for example. So there is a difference. There's a difference. So what we have done in the past, we don't worry. What you know of the evil you have done is only this life. But that is negligible compared to the karma you have created in the past. So many lifetimes of karma, we are still not paid up. But even this killing human being, killing the mother and father is a different class again. There are 5 heaviest offenses. If you do, it will immediately bring you to hell, and there's no way you can prevent. Even the Dhammavuddho also cannot prevent you from going to hell for a long time. One is killing intentionally hurting a Dhammavuddho and causing him Buddha, causing him to shed blood. Second is to kill an Arahant. Third is to kill your mother. Fourth is to kill your father. Fifth is to, when there's a group of monks in harmony, you are batu api, you make them divide, split into 2 sangha. So these are the 5 heaviest offenses. So you see, even human beings also, killing your mother and your father is different again from killing another person. So like in the case of the bandit Angulimala, he killed hundreds of people, but because he was not his mother and his father, he could still become, because of super effort in his striving, he became an Arahant and didn't have to go to hell. So there are different categories. You cannot just think, I kill so many ants, I will go to hell. Don't worry, you won't go to hell. So as I mentioned just now, what evil karma we have done, forget about it. Now do as much good as you can to overcome not only this present life evil karma, also past life evil karma. And the best way is to become an Arya. Study the Dhamma and understand the Buddha's words, and you have entered the stream. You got right view. Once you have right view, all the 3 woeful planes are close to you. Forever, you'll never be born as a ghost or an animal or go to hell. Then you're no more scared of samsara already. You can take a slow boat out of samsara.
I think it was triggered by the conform. There is now a tendency towards violent robberies. Robbers would target houses that actually occupy people who were trading, and they would just go straight for the occupants and give them a good beating. So out of fear, the occupants would automatically just hand over the valuables and whatever the workers want. So I've been wondering whether this was a time. If I were to be a victim of a violent robbery, they come in with the intention to hurt me, so in defending myself, I will look at them in return. From a Buddhist point of view, is that right thing to do?
It's the natural thing to do. Self-defense. At that time when you're excited, you don't think, what should I do? What is the Buddhist? You just do what is automatic. Right? So in defending yourself, if you happen to kill him also, you have not done wrong. As long as your intention is not to kill him. For example, if he's got a gun in his hand or something, if you can find a chopper, cut off his hand, so he cannot shoot you. But don't kill him.
Well, let's say in a situation whereby critical parents presented to ICU, and then the doctor comes and tells you that the parents is very sick, and then most of they think that the effort to kill the parents is actually quite futile, but the parents are still alive. So they are asking your opinion whether you should, whether they actually want to end the parents' life because they think having effort to help the parents has failed, and they think they should stop, and they are informing you. So what should your response be? Because from the medical point of view, doctors will tell you the effort is going to be now. So we make a decision that I need to tell them that I agree that you should not carry on. Does that mean that you have been accomplished in taking away your parents' life?
There's a difference between euthanasia and removing the life support. There's a difference. Euthanasia is like killing somebody, like injecting. And then the law doesn't allow, isn't it? But there are certain countries where they approve self-euthanasia, where the person, say, is dying of cancer and he cannot stand the pain anymore because it's dragged on for 10 years or 15 years and he can't stand it anymore, and then he presses a button, then he has to press twice, then the drug will go into his body. That in Buddhism is not advisable. It's not to say not allowed, not advisable, because if we are suffering, it might be due to our karma, and it's good to pay off whatever karma we have to pay, so that in the next life you don't pay for it. No? Okay? The other thing, is in the Buddhist, from the Buddhist point of view, we have a right to choose what we want. Every person has a right to choose. So, if a person, when I was in Australia in 1996 for 6 months, during that time there was a big case in Australia, in Darwin, I think Darwin somewhere. There was a man who was suffering of cancer for many years. He had been operated on and injected and all these things, and he did not get well, even though the doctor said he will recover, but he didn't recover. So he could not. He didn't have bowel control also. In the middle of the night, he'll have bowel movement and all these things, and his suffering was intensified. Seeing the wife having to look after him and suffer along with him. So he said enough is enough, and he wanted to commit suicide. At that time, the Northern Territory of Australia, they were the only state that had allowed euthanasia. So he did it with the help of a doctor, with the help of a computer specialist. They rigged up this equipment for him. He has to press. And then if he's nervous, if he changes his mind, the drug won't go into his vein, but if he's very sure, he has to press a second time. Then, so he died from that. So he has a right to choose, but the only thing is whether it's the right decision or not. But everyone, we have a threshold of pain. Beyond a certain threshold of pain, you cannot stand. Then whatever you want to, either. During the war, they use torture to torture somebody for information. They torture you a little bit, you are stubborn, you don't want to give information. But when they torture you too much, you cannot stand. You have to spill out all the beans because the pain is too intense, you cannot stand it. So in that sense, that person has to choose. If he cannot stand it anymore, it's his decision. The only thing, bearing in mind what I said just now, we have to think whether we should want to suffer or not. Secondly, this life support equipment. In our Buddhist teaching, our life depends on our will to live. As long as we hold on to will to live, we will not die. You see in the Mahaparinibbana Sutta, the Mara came to ask Buddha to enter Nibbana so many times, the Buddha refused. Until the Sasana, the Buddhist religion was well established, then the Buddha agreed. And when the Buddha agreed, he let go of the will to live. When he let go of the will to live, then he had 3 months more to live. So this will to live can be very strong. If we hold on to the will to live, we won't die. So when a person, in what you mentioned just now, that the parent, the doctor says is hopeless already. May spend a lot of money already. And then, so if you take away the life support equipment, you are not killing him. You are making him decide whether he wants to live or he doesn't want to live. If he wants to live, he will struggle on. Even without the life support, he will struggle on. But if the pain or something is too intense, after some time, a person will give up, let go. Old people dying is just like that. When old people, when they die, they refuse to die. They hold on to life, until the pain becomes unbearable because the aggregates, the body is breaking up. And when the pain, they suffer, day after day they suffer. They still hold on to life because of attachment. Until the suffering is too long and too intense, then they give up. The moment they let go of the will to live, they will go. Okay? So there's nothing wrong in taking off the life support. But the family has to decide. It's better not to one person to decide. If one person decides, later you might regret. But if you make a collective agreement, then everybody takes responsibility. And whatever happens later, you won't feel so bad. Okay, shall we stop here?